Your local news is next.
Straight ahead on News Center 5 tonight, the votes are certified in Florida, but what's next? Holiday travelers come to the Tri-Cities, and an overweight mom uses her weight against her daughter. We'll tell you how. Stay tuned. The news starts now.
From WCYB, the region's #1 news source, this is News Center 5 tonight.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Karen Cole. It's been a chaotic, controversial, historic night in Florida. The counties had a 5 p.m. deadline to get their final vote tallies to their Secretary of State, Kathleen Carey. Some counties made minor modifications today before doing so. One of the most amazing scenes was in Palm Beach County, which has been one of the locations in the spotlight for the past 2 weeks. The canvassing board could not finish all of its ballots by 5 p.m., so it turned in the numbers it did have by that time, then plowed ahead for 2 more hours to finish the job. Officials said the best thing to do would be to turn in both sets of figures and let Harris decide which numbers to use. Harris later certified George W. Bush the winner by a difference of 537 votes. Let's head to Jim Hanchett now, who's standing by live in Austin, Texas with the latest. Jim?
Good evening. Governor Bush walked out of that White House tonight, through that gate and to a TV camera to announce essentially his next address is the White House. With the Florida election results final, for now, George W. Bush heads to the Texas state capitol to tell the nation he's headed to the White House.
Secretary Cheney and I are honored and humbled to have won the state of Florida, which gives us the needed electoral votes to win the election. We will therefore undertake the responsibility of preparing to serve as America's next president and vice president.
Bush's win in Florida sealed with this signature, the final margin, 537 votes.
I hereby declare Governor George W. Bush the winner of Florida's 25 electoral votes.
Democrats, though, say the election's not over because the Palm Beach County recount was left out of the final numbers and thousands of Miami votes were never counted. Tomorrow, Al Gore will explain his decision to continue the fight. Tonight, a preview from running mate Joe Lieberman.
How can we teach our children that every vote counts if we are not willing to make a good faith effort to count every vote?
But Bush, his advisors, and his supporters say the votes have been counted 3 times, and they suggest it's time for Gore to concede. Now, at the end of his speech tonight, Governor Bush announced he's sending his running mate Dick Cheney to Washington tomorrow to open a transition office in a federal office building. But late tonight, the federal government's response to that, not so fast. You don't get the keys just yet because there is not yet a clear winner of this election. We're live in Austin, Texas. I'm Jim Hanchett. Back to you now.
All right, thank you, Jim. A 3-car pileup in Kingsport last night sends 4 people to the hospital and leaves 2 of them in serious condition. The wreck happened about 11 last night at the intersection of Center Street and Lynn Garden Drive. Police say 27-year-old Eric Fisher was speeding south on Lynn Garden when he ran a red light and hit a car driven by 21-year-old Jasmine Ali heading west on Center Street. After that crash, Fisher's car went airborne and landed on top of a car going east on Center Street, driven by 44-year-old Marjorie Vaught. Fisher and Ali are listed in serious condition. Vaught was treated and released. Alcohol is suspected as a factor in the wreck, but the investigation continues and charges are pending. Hopefully others had a safer holiday weekend, traveling home after visiting family and friends. News Center 5's Libby Kirsch tells us how to make the journey a little less hectic.
Whether you're fighting construction traffic on the highways or delayed flights in the airways, you're bound to be headed for frustration on this, the busiest travel weekend of the year.
We were delayed about an hour, but we made up about 30 minutes on the way back.
Yeah, they made us wait 2 hours for a 2-hour flight, so.
The crowds at airports Sunday are thicker than old Aunt Betty's leftover gravy, but officials say there are ways to make your trip manageable.
I think they can, if they get here on time, they can expect to get out of here on time. Everyone in the airport is doing a great job, and we're staffed up and ready for the onslaught of holiday travelers.
While you may become frustrated with some of the delays you'll find at the airport, officials say you'll find all modes of transportation over the holidays slower than usual. With an estimated 33 million people traveling for Thanksgiving, that should come as no surprise. People traveling by car today were struggling with construction and crowded highways. But one tip that stands for any type of travel: leave early.
We left first thing in the morning. Make sure we have plenty of time.
And one thing you should never forget to pack over the holidays: your patience. Because oftentimes delays will be out of your hands, and waiting is part of the game.
About an hour delay. They said they'd gotten a late start earlier.
Another 2.2 million people will be flying and driving home from Thanksgiving on Monday, meaning the holiday travel season has really just begun. In Kingsport, Libby Kirsch, News Center 5.
Imagine seeing a man pull a gun from under his coat and fire at a passing car. That's just what someone saw outside this Texaco in Johnson City and reported it to police yesterday afternoon. Soon after, authorities arrested 18-year-old Robert Carl Bowers II. Bowers reportedly said someone called him names from the car, and he took matters into his own hands. Luckily, he only had a paint gun. He is being charged with reckless endangerment. Some Sullivan County schools will get a special visitor tomorrow. Tennessee's Commissioner of Education, Vernon Coffey, will visit 2 schools as part of his tour of schools. The visits are to improve student performance. Coffey is set to be at Valley Pike Elementary at 9 a.m. and then Emmett Elementary at 10:15. The commissioner will also visit 8 other schools throughout the state this week. Lots of folks around the region got a chance to pick up some one-of-a-kind holiday gifts in Bristol. Viking Hall was packed full of colorful displays all weekend long. More than 200 artists traveled from miles around to sell their handmade crafts. Many of the potential Christmas gifts are very unique, like these bank safes.
From the local post offices out of Tennessee. And as we get them, we just turn them into piggy banks.
This is the 16th year for the craft show. Up next tonight, Kathleen says we're still a little below normal as far as temperatures go. She'll have complete details in her forecast. That's coming up next. And then you won't believe how police say a woman tried to kill her 12-year-old daughter. They say she sat on her. That's still to come on News Center 5 tonight.
Closed captioning of News Center 5 programs made possible by Friendship Ambulance and Home Medical Equipment. Friendship, we're the friends you choose.
Time to buy a Montero Sport. 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for an entire year on our best-selling Mitsubishis. Hurry, this deal ends soon.
Pokemon, turn it on. Purple guy, catch her eye. Target price, target toys, target girls, target boys. Start it up, little pop, make a mint. Santa's hint, target price, target toys, target girls, target boys.
What kind of a company are we? Like everyone else, we're people who look back every once in a while to think what might have been. What if we'd married sooner instead of later? Why didn't we buy that house? Just think of the money we'd have made. Would life have been simpler if we'd just stayed home? Life is a series of decisions which, once taken, often can't be taken back. Which is why planning is important. And which is one of the reasons we're here. To help make financial choices that are the right ones for you and your family. Talk with us at First Union. We can't change the past, but we can sure help a lot with the future.
Hey, Mom. It's me, your little boy. I guess it's strange to see me all grown up, but this is me 18 years from now. We got some news for you, Mom. You're gonna be a grandma. I know this is a long way away, but we could really use a little help with this, so please take care of yourself, Mom. I don't even know how to change a diaper.
You've just seen the future. Let Trigon Blue Cross Blue Shield help you get there.
Kathleen, actually, I didn't leave the house yesterday. I was sick, but you're telling me it's cooler today than yesterday.
And it felt that way, too. Yesterday was almost warm because it got into the mid to upper 50s, and today we struggled to, you know, in some places even get into the 40s. So definitely a little bit cooler as that warm front pushed in yesterday. If we look at our live weather net now, you can see things very cool already, and the mercury is still dropping. Outside in Abingdon, Virginia, 38 degrees. For the month there, nearly an inch of rain. Now in Linville, North Carolina, they've already hit freezing. Well, look for the month, over 5 1/4 inches of rain, only 1/100th of an inch for today, but certainly they've had the most rainfall for this month of November. In Mountain City, Tennessee, nearly 2 inches and over 1.5 inches in Big Stone Gap, Virginia, with the current temperature now at 43. At the airport, that is, at the Tri-Cities Regional for the month, about 2 1/3 inch of rainfall. And this is also interesting to note as far as the high and the low. Today's high temperature, 48, just a very close differentiation between that and the low. Normal for this time of year would be in the mid-50s. Well, elsewhere throughout the viewing region, 32 degrees was the high temperature in Richlands. Marion today topped out at 42. In Ewing, it was 49, whereas Big Stone Gap, the high temperature was 54. Well, there was a warm front that pushed through the area, and it continues really to track northward, now all the way up into the Maine area. But with that, it brought a southerly flow of warm, moist air out of the Gulf states, and that's why we had some warmer temperatures yesterday and some more rain showers. Well, we've had less atmospheric phenomenon, so just a little bit of rain today in the forecast. There's still a cold front that's draped over the very southern tip of Florida. A little bit of rain shower there remains, and then a double-barrel low-pressure system to the north of us, and that's why there through the Ohio Valley and into New England, there's still some rain showers, as you can see on a closer-up image. Earlier today, more rain through Indiana, still though the case, and in through Ohio, pressing into Pennsylvania as well as West Virginia. And then most of the heavy showers have pushed into Canada, into New Brunswick, a little bit in the higher elevations of Maine, some snow showers, but certainly most of that precipitation has worked its way out of the area. Even for us, we've got some cloud cover, and we still have a possibility of some light rain through the evening, and in the mountains of northwest North Carolina, possibility of some snow flurries without any accumulation. So the rain showers should dissipate after the midnight hour, giving way to mostly cloudy to partly cloudy skies tomorrow. High temperatures in the upper 40s. Pretty much the same thing holds true for Tuesday, and we'll get to more of your 5-day forecast coming up after this.
Want the lowdown on Dodge Durango? Here's where it's best in class Magnum V8 power.
This is a national sales alert from Dodge. Effective immediately, you can get low 0.9 financing for 60 months on 2000 Dodge Durango. You can now save more than $5,600 or get up to $2,000 cash allowance. We now return you to your regularly scheduled commercial.
See the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
Nathan! Nathan, what is taking you so long?
Just give me a second, would you, Mom?
Come on, hurry up. I have a hair appointment at 2, and now he can't have children. Nathan, make sure it's not too restrictive. Come on, let me see how my Snooky looks.
I look stupid.
You do look stupid.
Get a plan that's right for you, such as unlimited nights and weekends. We also feature Ericsson digital phones, now at your local Bell South Mobility DCS store.
It's back.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Applebee's You Pick 2. Get any 2 of 4 American favorites on one big plate. Choose from sizzling Cajun sirloin, succulent garlic crusted shrimp, barbecue chicken, or riblets with a tangy sauce too good for any napkin. Right now, you pick 2. For a taste as American as Applebee's. For a tasteful gift, pick Applebee's gift certificates.
This week on Jeopardy!
Fate.
works in strange ways on Jeopardy.
Which contestant is destined to become the next Jeopardy champion? Think you've got what it takes?
Don't get cocky, kid.
Try to master this Jeopardy challenge.
It's what a martini is called when the olive is replaced by a pearl onion.
What's a gimlet? What is a rusty nail?
What is a Gibson?
Find out if you're right. Watch Jeopardy all this week.
Weeknights at 7:30, WCYB-5.
I've done other things too besides sing. I've been a carpenter, a welder, a concrete finisher.
No matter what you do, Ford's got the truck for you. And now, during truck season, you can lease a built Ford Tough Ranger for just $160 a month. Just $160 a month for the best-selling compact pickup in America. Get into the fun Tough Ranger for just $160 a month during truck season.
The best trucks are built Ford Tough.
It's truck season. See your local Ford store today.
I've met some colorful characters over the years.
Nymphomania for 200.
No, it's Nymphorama. Go figure.
Weeknights at 7:30 on WCYB.
Breezy overnight with winds to 15 miles per hour. Still a possibility of light rains and flurries with overnight lows in the 30s. Tomorrow, decreasing clouds throughout the day. Still could be a bit breezy with high temperatures in the upper 40s to near 50. On Tuesday, partly cloudy, near 50 degrees for the high. And by midweek, another chance of some rain showers and perhaps some snow flurries, higher elevations with a high temperature near 46. And then rounding out the remainder of the work week, Thursday and Friday, both days will be partly cloudy, a little bit of chance of rain on Thursday, but the highs in the 40s for each of those days.
Still kind of cool, though.
It is a little below normal.
All right. Thanks, Kathleen. In our look around the nation and the world tonight, we start in New York, where a 350-pound woman is arrested for allegedly trying to suffocate her daughter by sitting on her. Jay Dow reports.
They were initially dispatched to check out reports of possible flooding. But when officers entered this two-family home in the Bel Air section of Queens early Saturday morning, they instead say they found Rosemary Zephyrin using her 350-pound body to suffocate her 12-year-old daughter. The unconscious child was taken to North Shore University Hospital, where she's listed in stable condition. Police arrested the 30-year-old mother and held her Sunday at Manhattan Criminal Court on attempted murder charges. If Rosemary Zephyrin and her daughter were having problems, they apparently did not share them with their neighbors. Many longtime residents say the family just recently moved to this block and for the most part kept to themselves. In fact, police had to forcibly remove Zephyrin after she barricaded herself inside the apartment.
I was standing right here when they brought her out, and I was just standing here looking at her.
And how did she look?
Like stressed. She had on shorts and a t-shirt and no shoes.
They were always quiet. No noise coming out of their house at any time, day or night. The house is a quiet. You would never think that that anything like that is going on in there.
Meanwhile, as Zephyrin makes her way through the justice system and her daughter recovers from a case of near-fatal suffocation, police have yet to disclose the source of the family dispute. In Queens, Jay Dow, New York 1.
In other news, actor Robert Downey Jr. has been arrested again, nearly 3 months after being released from prison and relaunching his career. Police found the actor in his hotel room after responding to an anonymous 911 call. Police say the 35-year-old was alone with cocaine and methamphetamines. Downey was arrested and charged with drug possession, being under the influence of a controlled substance, and committing a felony while out on bail. Foreign ministers of Russia and Germany met today for the unveiling of a memorial at a former concentration camp north of Berlin. The memorial commemorates Russian prisoners of war held there during the Nazi regime. Soldiers, relatives, and friends of POWs looked on during the unveiling with faces showing mixed emotions of sorrow and pride. Flowers were laid beside the new memorial during the brief afternoon ceremony. Flames ripped through a shanty town on the outskirts of Cape Town, South Africa earlier today. The fire broke out just after midday. 900 families were left homeless, but only 4 minor injuries and no fatalities were reported. It took fire emergency crews and police 4 hours to bring the flames under control, and now rescue officials are working to find places to house the hundreds of families left behind homeless and in despair. No word yet on how the fire began. Finally, tonight has been a record-breaking Thanksgiving weekend at the box office. According to studio estimates, the top dozen movies have grossed more than $236 million. That exceeds last year's total and the previous record by about $11 million. Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, starring Jim Carrey, remained at #1 for the second straight weekend. The Grinch stole nearly $74 million at this weekend's box office. And Unbreakable came in second with $47.2 million. That is the Bruce Willis movie from the makers of The Sixth Sense. Many moviegoers were seeing spots this weekend, too, at Disney's 102 Dalmatians. That finished third with nearly $27 million in ticket sales. Running out the top 5 were Rugrats in Paris and Charlie's Angels, which those are the only two, all those I've seen, Rugrats and Charlie's Angels.
I got to get busy. I haven't seen any of those.
Got to get snapping.
I'm going.
Okay, we'll see that. That's all the time we have for News Center 5 tonight.
Stay tuned. Todd Summers is up next with highlights tonight.
We all work hard and that's okay. Celebrating life in every way.
What does low 09 financing during truck season mean to you? It means up to $86.14 in interest savings on Ford Explorer and up to $10,641 on Ford Expedition versus conventional financing. But you better hurry.
When you drive your Ford, there's no boundaries. When you drive your Ford, there's no boundaries.
It's truck season. Get to your Ford Outfitter, your local Ford store.
I'm a child care director. In the summer, I drive buses and vans. We have a blast on these field trips. It's just as much fun for me as it is for them. Parents are entrusting me with the safety of their children. We have to make sure we keep great tires on the van. We trust Walmart to service our vehicle. They have name brand tires and they have great prices, and they're guaranteed nationwide. That's one reason we bought them.
Brand name tires, oil changes, and more at Walmart Tire and Lube Express.
Because it's pretty precious cargo.
What do I know about performance? What do I know about control? What do I know about grip? Great horsepower! Limited slip, rear differential. Full-time, all-wheel drive. But what do we know? We're just girls.
Subaru Forester. Sport utility tough, car easy.
The tension of a court show.
He's threatened to kill me in my sleep.
I can't just put this man out. The emotion of a talk show.
She is very controlling.
He doesn't understand. I'm pregnant.
The excitement of a game show.
It's a lot of fun.
This show isn't about small claims.
He cheated on me.
You thought he was at choir practice, huh?
It's about the difference between right and wrong.
It's like a war here, and you lost.
On Moral Court, where it pays to be right.
Weekdays at 11, WCYB-5.
It changed the rules. And with each innovation...
This is a national sales alert from Dodge. Effective immediately, you can get low 0.9 financing for 60 months on 2000 Dodge Dakota and Dodge Durango. You can now save over $4,000 on Dakota and save more than $5,600 on Durango. You can still get 0.9 shorter-term financing on 2001 Dodge Ram or up to $2,000 cash allowance.
Magnum Power. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
Coming up on this Sunday night edition of Highlights Tonight, the Titans left feeling the owl of lost opportunities for the second time in 3 weeks. The Tar Heels trying to beam up Frank to take over their football program. And Monty looking to win a few skins, while these skins try to soar past the Eagles. We're ready for takeoff on this edition of Highlights Tonight. Last year, the Jaguars lost to one team, the Titans. But this year, the rest of the league must have been taking notes from the team that wrote the book on beating Jacksonville. So far this season, the Jags have already lost 7 times and are virtually out of playoff contention. Meanwhile, Tennessee enters this afternoon's game tied for the best record in the AFC at 9-2. The Titans looking for their 6th straight win over the Jaguars and their 4th straight win in Jacksonville. First quarter, Eddie George takes it in from 7 yards out. Titans up 7-3. George with 173 total yards in the game. Later in the first, Mark Brunell finds Fred Taylor out of the backfield for his 100th career touchdown pass. Jaguars up 10-7. Fourth quarter, game tied at 13. For the second time in 3 weeks, Al Del Greco misses a big field goal. This one from just 27 yards out, and the game is still tied. The Jaguars with a chance to win it in the closing seconds, and Mike Hollis makes good on his 38-yard field goal. And finally, the Jaguars beat the Titans 16-13. But after the game, Del Greco talked about the miss.
I remember ever missing 2 game winners in the same year before. But, you know, it's one of those things that for whatever reason, we're playing a lot of close football games. So if it comes down to it again, I got to be ready to go. And
the Colts looking to pull into a first-place tie with the Dolphins this evening in Indianapolis. Early on, Peyton Manning with a great play-action pass. And that means his favorite target, Marvin Harrison, is going to be open with a great diving catch in the end zone for a 27-yard touchdown. Colts up 7-0. Fourth quarter, that combo hooks up again. This time for an 8-yard touchdown. Colts up 14-10. Manning with 209 yards passing in the game. But the Dolphins battle back. Damon Howard finds Oronde Gadsden in the corner of the end zone for a 17-yard go-ahead touchdown. Dolphins up 17-14. The Colts with a chance to tie it in the closing seconds. Mike Vanderjagt from 59 yards out, but it is blocked. And Miami hangs on to first place in the AFC East by beating Indianapolis. Final score, 17-14. First place on the line this afternoon in our nation's capital. The Eagles looking to stay red hot in search of their 4th straight win. The Skins playing without running back Stephen Davis. No problem early on. Jeff Jordan for the 19-yard touchdown pass to tight end Stephen Alexander. Skins up 14-10 at the half. Third quarter, the Eagles battle back behind the sensational running of quarterback Donovan McNabb. The former Syracuse star with some nice moves and a 21-yard touchdown run. Philly up 17-14. Later in the fourth, McNabb again, this time on a 55-yard run. No touchdown, but he does finish with 131 yards rushing in the game. This scamper sets up what proves to be the game-winning field goal as Philadelphia is still in first place by beating Washington. Final score 23-20. How about New Orleans? They win again, and they move into a first-place tie with St. Louis atop the NFC West. Aaron Brooks, former UVA quarterback, with 2 rushing touchdowns and 1 passing touchdown in his first NFL start. Baltimore gets 170 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns from Jamal Lewis as they beat Cleveland 44-7. Tampa Bay over Buffalo 31-17. The Jets get by the Bears in a close one, 17-10. Cordell Stewart with 3 touchdown passes and 1 touchdown on the ground as well as Pittsburgh hammers Cincinnati 48-28. Oakland over Atlanta in a big way, 41-14. Mike Anderson, the guy filling in for Terrell Davis, with 193 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns as Denver comes back to beat Seattle 38-31. And the Chargers, yes, the San Diego Chargers finally pick up their first win of the season. They defeat the Kansas City Chiefs 17-16 in progress. Late in the fourth quarter, the New York Giants lead Arizona 31-7. After ending all suspense on the field with a 42-21 win over state rival Virginia Saturday night in Blacksburg, the suspense off the field continues to mount for Virginia Tech. Is their 10-1 record good enough for a BCS Bowl? Will Michael Vick stay for his junior season? And now, will head coach Frank Beamer be around if he does? A Greensboro newspaper confirmed that Beamer arrived in Chapel Hill around 1 o'clock this afternoon. According to Hokies running back coach Billy Height, Beamer said he is very interested in the North Carolina head coaching vacancy, and he's going to take a look at it. It is being reported that Tar Heel officials are prepared to offer Beamer a total package of about $1.2 million annually to take over as the head coach of the Tar Heels. Virginia Tech Athletic Director Jim Weaver confirmed to the Daily Press that UNC Athletics Director Dick Baddour contacted him Sunday morning for permission to talk with Beamer. Baddour said that he hopes there will be a resolution by the middle of this week. As for Coach Beamer, his mind was on football after Saturday night's win over the Cavaliers.
You guys are talking about that. Really, we never talked about it. I haven't talked about it with the football team, and I'm not going to. This football team has played amazingly well, I think. And this coaching staff has coached really well. And for us to be 10-1 this year with the injuries, I think it says a lot about what these guys are all about.
Speaking of the college football coaching carousel, earlier this afternoon, West Virginia hired Clemson offensive coordinator Rich Rodriguez as head coach to succeed the retiring Don Nehlen. Rodriguez, a former Mountaineer player, helped Clemson to a 9-2 record and a Gator Bowl bid this season. He served 2 years at Clemson after coming with Tommy Bowden from Tulane. Rodriguez was given a 5-year contract worth just over $400,000 a year. One other coaching note, Wake Forest also fired their coach this afternoon. Now let's take a look at the AP Top 25 College Football Poll. Oklahoma is on top. Miami is number 2. But late word this evening is that Florida State has enough points in the BCS. They will play in the national championship game. So that's pretty big news considering Miami beat the Seminoles earlier in the year. But Washington also has a gripe. Remember, they're the only team to beat Miami. And then Oregon State rounds out the top 5. The next 5, Virginia Tech, Florida, Kansas State, Oregon, and Nebraska. The next 5 after that, Notre Dame, Texas, TCU, Purdue, and Clemson, 16 through 20. Michigan, Georgia Tech, Auburn, Northwestern, and Ohio State. The final 5 spots, Tennessee is all the way up to 21st after their win over Vanderbilt on Saturday. Louisville, Colorado State, Georgia, and Toledo jumps in to the top 25. In the small community of Honaker, Virginia, high school football is a big deal, especially this year. The hometown Tigers are preparing to play in the school's first ever state football championship game this Saturday at Liberty University. A big part of Honaker's success in the playoffs has been the duo of quarterback Keith Miller and running back Neil Sample. While Miller received a lot of the hype early on, Sample was equally, if not more, dangerous. The senior running back finished Saturday's semifinal game versus the Jowls with 120 yards on the ground and 3 touchdowns. He also sealed the outcome with a late interception. But the Tigers' dream will not be complete without one more win.
Well, going to the big game it's a big deal to us. We've worked hard all year for it.
Yeah, this feels great. It was our goal all year to be in the state title game, but we plan on winning it too.
They'll get that shot Saturday afternoon at noon at Liberty University, taking on King William. Should be a great game. We will try to get those highlights to you Saturday. We plan on having a crew up there. So if Honaker gets the win or if they come up a little short, we'll have highlights of the game either way. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll hear from the Lady Vol that slipped her way into the history books last night in Hawaii. Stay with us, everybody.
My name's Hollis. I work at the Walmart Home Entertainment Department. The big news is that Walmart now has DVD players and DVD movies. I bet you didn't know that. Watching DVD is like seeing your favorite movie for the very first time. It's a totally clean picture. You gotta see this. You want to hear something to rattle your house. Boom! DVD sound. Action, comedy, new releases. If there's a movie you want to see, we probably have it. We've got great brands of DVD players. Walmart's got everyday low prices right here in the Home Entertainment Department. If I can afford them, then anybody can afford them.
It's truck season at your local Ford store.
It's truck season. You need to be in a Ford. Ford trucks are the toughest trucks built.
And with truck season comes great deals on all of your favorite Ford trucks. Right now, get an F-150 for only $260 a month. That's $260 a month for the best-selling truck in the world.
I'd rather buy a Ford than have another truck given to me. I get what I pay for.
The best trucks are built Ford tough. Visit your local Ford store today. Making miracles happen is the primary goal of the Children's Miracle Network. Annually, over 12 million kids receive desperately needed medical treatment because of CMN. Long John Silver's is proud to help make miracles happen as a CMN Champions national corporate sponsor. This year's goal is $1 million. You can make miracles happen by purchasing a miracle balloon on your next visit to Long John Silver's. 100% of the money raised benefits children in our community. Join Long John Silver's and CMN and make a miracle happen for one of our special children.
What kind of a company are we? We're customers like you. We use the same stores and markets and dentists, nurseries, and contractors. We like places with good products and good service. We know that's what makes them work. If you have some plans for your small business, talk with us at First Union. Whether you want to make a few improvements or a big change, we'll work as hard as you to make it happen.
Let there be lights, lights, and more lights. See over 1 million glimmering lights on display at Bristol Motor Speedway during Fantasy and Lights. It's an all-new 3.5-mile route with a stop at the Christmas Village where you can meet Santa Claus, roast marshmallows, and climb aboard the Christmas sleigh. Best of all, it benefits Speedway Children's Charities. Fantasy and Lights, November 17th through January 6th at Bristol Motor Speedway. Proudly sponsored by 1015 WQUT and WCYB-5.
6 holes of golf at $25,000 each. The next 6 at $50 grand. Holes 13 through 17 worth $70,000 apiece, and a $200,000 skin on 18. Now that's a round of golf. The second day of the skins game this afternoon in California. Fred Couples, Vijay Singh, Colin Montgomery, and Sergio Garcia, the participants looking to cash in. But check out Sergio Garcia early on. He says 4. And it's going to the left, and it hits a lady on her head. But Sergio says, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hit you. He gives her a kiss on the cheek, and everything's okay. As for Vijay Singh's day, he birdies number 15 to win $210,000. Vijay finishes in second place with $260,000 for his efforts. Fred Couples misses the birdie putt on the second playoff hole. He finishes with $125,000. But this guy, Colin Montgomery, he is your winner. He captures $415,000. That's not a bad day's work. Although it was one play worth 2 points, it was still pretty big, even though the Lady Vols had a 26-point lead when it happened. In case you missed it, last night in Hawaii, second-ranked Tennessee taking on 24th-ranked Illinois. The final minute of the first half, 6'5" center Michelle Snow with the steal and the slam. No doubt about this one. Look, Mom, 2 hands. The Lady Vols get the win, 111-62 over Illinois in the championship game of the Maui Classic. But afterward, all anyone wanted to talk about was the dunk.
Yeah, my team told me if you're going to do it right. And last year I did it, and they said it didn't count, so I had to do it again. We've been working on it for a while. Coach gave us the green light. She's been screaming at me to deny the high post, and I get my chance. And finally denied, and I finally got my chance.
Check out this afternoon's action in college basketball. Appalachian State with a win over Hawaii Hilo, 73-63 in top 25 action. Illinois over Texas Southern, 86-67. And Oklahoma with a win over Oregon State. Final score 78-60. PJ's back here tomorrow. That's all the time we've got for now. We'll see you later.